You just tuned into the latest channel on Twitch.
I'm alone, I'm a broken home. I gave you all the bricks that I own and know. I'm letting go, I'm breaking these walls down, breaking these walls down. If you want adventure, then fly to home. But if you wanna travel, then go alone. Yeah, what's the point in us if I never know? Yeah, if you're gonna leave, I'ma let you go. I'm tired of the pain. Go away. I'm tired of yesterday. Fada. I fell where my demons dwell. My own little nightmare, I call it hell. Oh well, it's time to get back up, climbing and climbing. I'm done with this ride, is what I tell myself, so I could feel something else. Yeah, I guess I had my bad days, but it doesn't mean I lost my style. Darling, where were you when my heart was on the ground? I thought time would prove that you would stick around. I guess time's
All right, welcome guys. So today we're doing the HoJ Harbingers of Judgment Guild Interview. And then I'm gonna go ahead and let everyone introduce themselves, and then we'll start it up. Philly, if you want to start.
Sure. My name's Degassi, also Philly. Pardon the voice, I'm a little sick today. I am the guild leader of Harbingers of Judgment.
Good morning and/or afternoon. My name is Hexus, and I am a captain of the Harbingers of Judgment.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Papatura, and I'm the first captain of the Harbingers.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Ravian, Rav, or Tuna. I'm one of the captains of Harbinger of Judgment.
So, first question: is there multiple types of captains that for rankings?
Well, there's mostly just captains, though. Papa here, I've known him over half a decade. He's been with me through other guilds as well and in other games. And so he's kind of the OG captain. My other captains report to him. He's first captain.
Okay. So how do like the other ranks? I'm guessing like he's like the right hand. Like you have guild leader, first captain, then captains. Is there any other ranks below that, or?
Yeah, there's veterans, which it's basically the people who've been in for a couple weeks. We know them, they've been in voice, so we promote them. And then of course there's trainees, which they get that rank right when they get in. I'm still kind of looking at what other ranks I want to put in. I know we have this one guy who's just obsessed with armor. He's like so good with armor. Anytime anyone needs armor, he's on it. He knows the best armor. And I've appointed him kind of his own special role as Master Armorer. His name's Seraph. I can always count on him to do guild projects for armor.
Okay.
So that's another rank. And as people kind of show themselves and their own interests, I make new ranks.
Yeah, that's fair. So what happened with Kamek? Is he gonna play, or is he not interested in Mortal anymore, or what happened?
Oh yeah, K-Mix. So for those of you out there who don't know who that is, he is actually my IRL fiance. We were co-leading, but oftentimes, what'll happen is if there's two guild leaders or multiple guild leaders, they each kind of develop their own vision for the guild, and it kind of goes one way or the other. So he went ahead and let me take the reins on that, and he stepped away from the game, and actually he's back in the game. He is in one of our allied guilds, helping them recruit, helping them grow. He kind of has a consulting role, and so he's kind of the miracle grow we're putting on smaller guilds that we want to see succeed.
Which guild is he in?
Right now he is in Knights of Mirland.
Okay, that's KOM, I think, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay, I don't know them. I think I've seen them. Actually, I think one of the guys was talking to me in MO chat last night. KOM, I believe.
Yeah, there was a guy that jumped on there and talked whenever you and I were talking back and forth.
Oh yeah. I was talking to you. I forgot. Yeah. Because Victims was talking about something in my podcast about the alliances. So
Yeah,
I ended
I
up.
was just random. I saw that and I thought like that was the conversation. That's whenever I jumped in there. But
Yeah, that was like right when I was jumping in bed too. Like I was literally typing from my phone. I'm like, oh my god, am I about to get like dragged into this fucking long ass discussion at midnight?
yeah, okay,
But
Mr. Text Wall.
At the
yeah, that was
time.
like, yeah, that was a text. Um, okay, so my next question, I mean, if you're comfortable answering it, if you're not, it's fine. How many like active members would you say you have day to day, and then how many like are you planning on having at like? You say?
That's a good question. So I think the most through this whole beta we've topped out at is 30 plus active members at one time. That being said, we've been playing like pretty much for a year. A lot of my guys are bored right now. They're really waiting for that TC to come in. So it's kind of varying right now
What
at a little bit
would you
less.
guess? What would you just like a guess? Best guess.
Right now, I'd say like between 10 and 15 right now.
Do you know
But
how many
it's
like roughly you think are gonna come back for launch? Like if you just, I mean, best guess again, not 100% accurate.
definitely probably pretty close to the 30. We play other games in that Discord. We do other activities, things like that. We're always recruiting, and I'm big on the recruiting. And it's one of the reasons why I like this podcast that you're doing right now. It gives people a chance to see what we're all about. But yeah,
Oh
we're
yeah.
planning on getting pretty huge.
Okay. So like, would you say like there's like no cap on like the member count that you're looking for, or are you just trying to grow as big as possible, or
Yeah,
is
as
like a
big as
magic number?
possible.
Okay.
Nah, no magic number. Big as possible. No cap. A lot of times, we welcome people into the guild. We'll teach them about the game, and then if they want to leave, we give them our blessing to go wherever they want to go. So, joining the guild, it's not like you're tied here forever. Like we like to teach noobs. That's what we do.
You know, it's kind of funny. Back like this was like last year. This is before I even made the guild, and at the time it was called Zealots, as Philly would know probably because Kamek was
Yeah.
involved at that time. Um, before I even made the guild, like I had this like idea of just making like a straight up like noob training guild that would live out of like Tendrum, and I had a similar idea to what you have going on, like where like if people want to leave, like it's totally fine, like they're like not required to stay. It's more of like they join, they learn, and they kind of leave, even though it's not really what you have. But that was kind of like what I wanted to do at first, and I would even like go as far as like donate like for their guild stone and help them like build their house. Like that was my original vision for the guild. Um, and then I realized like that would probably just be like a me thing. Like I couldn't imagine like like my whole guild like supporting like other people to join us, use us, and then like discard us, and then like take our gold with them. You know what I mean? I realized like quickly that that wasn't like a realistic thing that probably would happen. So it ended up changing. But yeah, I mean, I like that you guys like are open to training people and like not even like necessarily requiring them to like stay by like normal means, like that
Hmm.
expectation, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, most people do end up staying with us,
Hmm.
absolutely. But it's more
Mhm.
getting people trained up because that's the big thing is making sure people keep playing this game and don't get
Right.
discouraged, know what they're doing, don't just walk out into the middle of nowhere and get ganked and then quit playing the game. Like that's the last thing, especially I want. I know the guild itself. That's pretty much what we're tailored to do.
Yeah, that was a big problem in MO1 is like
Yeah.
builds and everything. Everything was like such a secret that like you only like really learn the game when you join like an established guild. Like if you were just playing
Hmm.
solo, you would learn stuff at an extremely slower rate, and then sometimes like it wouldn't even be accurate info. Like you would think you knew something, and then but you really didn't.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
recipes for weapons, whatnot.
I
Uh,
just died.
but yeah,
Alchemy as well was like a huge thing in there. It
Oh,
was so
alchemy was
secretive.
cutthroat back in the day.
You try to
I mean it's
research
still
something, man, you still don't find anything. It's still really broken, but
yeah, like it's still like not like 100% like known like other things are right now. Like most guilds will like know like really good like recipes for like armor and stuff, but like alchemy is still like not like there. Like it's still kind of secretive, even though that
Hmm.
Guild Arc has his like calculator or whatever thing.
Yeah,
Like
for
it's not.
basic stuff.
Yeah, it's not even like 100% like the workbench, for example.
Yeah, and then also, I mean, back in MO1, like you spawned in Tindrum because you're like, oh, this place is totally not a shithole. and and then you go to the graveyard and you get blue blocks, and I mean, it turned a
Yeah,
lot of people off back in the day.
dude, I had some good.
I mean, old Tindrum was just dirty though, man. Like I know he's tried to pretty it up, but I'll always consider Tindrum just like MO1 Tindrum, man.
Well, we don't even have like sunken district yet with like the bandits and
Or
stuff.
the Magic District and everything else, which was
Yeah,
gang central because you just shield bash somebody off the bridge.
yeah, and then the sunken district had no guards, as far as I
Hmm.
remember.
It had guards up until you got to where the fishing spot was, right where there was the chest sitting in the middle of the channel right there. And
I
then
don't
there were
remember.
no guards between that and the Mage District. There used to not be guards in the Mage District, but I think they changed that towards the tail end.
Oh, hey, hey, Judge, how you doing? Okay, so my next question, for people who are, gonna join your guild, what is your like political stance? You guys like anti-RPK, RPK, fire building? Like, how would you describe yourself?
So I would describe us as ARPK, um, which is anti-random player killing. For those of you who don't know, um, if you come across a harbinger in the wild, they should not kill you unless you are in an RPK guild or you are in a hostile guild. Um, the benefit of this is that we're kinder to newer players who haven't necessarily like messed up. Um, so you shouldn't expect to be ganked by harbingers out in the wild.
Is your tag Harbingers in game or is it HoJ? I can't remember.
In game, it's harbingers right now.
Okay.
If we were to have a spillover guild, it would probably be HoJ. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. So
There used to be a guild called Judgment.
Hmm.
yeah,
Um,
that is not us. We're not affiliated with them.
no, I know. I actually think they were anti-RPK too. Um, I think they becoming soap at one point. I don't know. They
That's
were,
a name I haven't heard.
yeah. I think Judgment became soap or something like when they took the keep. Um, so anti RPK, like what kind of play style do you look for in recruits, or do you take all people?
I'd say we take a wide majority of people. I will say I tend to favor people who are down for a fight, down for some PvP, because we foster that culture of bettering oneself, and so when people are willing to train, that's how they're going to get the most benefit out of our guild, is if they're constantly willing to fight, constantly willing to train with people and attain those skills. But we do everything. We do PvE, we do PvP. We do trade, all kinds of things.
Okay. So, I mean, like, if there was like a guy who only PvE, like, would he have a spot in your guild, or would he
Mhm.
be required to do?
Oh no,
Pretty
he would
sure
have
we
a
already have
spot.
a couple of those
Yeah,
guys
we've got a
already.
couple of those right now, like that are
Yeah,
hardcore grind PvP guys, and they do
yeah,
great. Like we'll still duel with them just so that they know if they do walked up on how to defend themselves. But it's not just everyone has to PvP per se. You have to be able to defend yourself because you're going to need to know that either way.
right.
Wolf Achilles says, "How does one separate RPK groups from PvP groups? Usually, people just use whatever term suits their narrative in the moment." So I guess he's wondering if you're just using the anti-RPK tag, and how would you separate like RPK groups?
Okay, so the thing about ARPK guilds is we maintain a list. Um, and that list is the list of guilds that my members are permitted to kill. And the way a guild makes it on that list is they either aggress us or an ally, or they aggress a guild that we know does not RPK. And in order to make it on that list, I need testimony from at least a couple people, or I need screenshots, or I need a recording, something like that. Um, it is possible to be an ARPK PvP guild. We do it all the time. ARPKers, we kill people. Like, it's just we only kill certain people. We only kill people on that list.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's only some people, granted, it's not most people, but like there are like quite a few people in at least this community that like associate anti RPK with like PvE. But like there's
It's
so many
not.
RPK groups that you'll never run out of PvP. Like almost it's basically like you're not even like really losing out on any PvP in my opinion. Like the only people you're really not killing for the most part is a few other anti RPK groups that are like scattered around the map, right? And then
Hmm.
like nakeds and like solos. Like that's those are the only people you're really not killing. Like
Yeah.
you're not missing out on much with the anti RPK style if you like follow it to the letter or whatever. Um
The difference between RPK and ARPK is RPK guilds will kill you. Everybody will take a shot at you if you're out there alone, no matter who you are. ARPK guild will look at you and say, ah, no, it's somebody that's not on the list, and we'll keep on writing. Even if you're alone or if you're in a group, we're just not going to engage unless you are on that list.
yeah,
And there's
good.
multiple people we've run up on whenever we're out roaming as well. We've definitely scared people to death a couple times because I'll run up on them and I'll tag them to see what their tag is, and then we'll stop and we'll talk to them and just say what's going on, man, and then just keep on our way. Like
Yeah,
we 100% have to verify tags before we try to engage somebody.
yeah, because you have to be like 10 feet in front of someone to see their tag.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, like,
Hate
five
it.
5 foot when I'm
Absolutely
force
hate it.
feeding, like essentially kissing the man. Yes,
Yeah, just I hope you guys are excited when you guys are like roaming with 30 at launch, and like 30 is like a normal number, and then like you
right.
run up on a group of 20 to 30, and you're like, oh, can we attack them? I don't know. Let's get 10 feet in front of them, figure it out first.
Dude, I hate it so much. Something has to change there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Because I mean, whenever because it's very much like time as well. Because I've been force speeding to get up to somebody and they're running forward, and legitimately, I don't see their tags until I pretty much can hold the man's hands. Like it's a little crazy sometimes.
yeah,
I'm hoping that banners are able to be colored or have a logo on them because they tend to pop up the same time the names pop
Hmm.
up. And I don't know about everyone else, but it's much easier for me to see colors than it is to read a full guild tag and process. I can say not a black banner, or I can say those are RPK colors, and we can go attack them. I would
Yeah.
really like that. I think it would make things a lot easier.
yeah,
No,
for sure.
absolutely.
It would
And I mean, the
also
good
help.
thing.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say I haven't tested this actually. Do you know for war decks, if you see someone who's outside of your render distance, is their name blue or does it automatically show up as that black for a war deck? I haven't tested it. I'm
Oh
actually
no.
curious.
Wait, aren't Vortex orange?
Say again?
Aren't Vortex orange? Is that what you're talking about?
Or oh, yeah, I mean
They're
orange.
red,
Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, like
A
reddish
red,
orange.
orange. Okay. I don't know. I haven't been in a. I was gonna say something similar though. It would be nice, at least for your play style too, is like if you like see someone at distance and it says like humanoid, if they're a murderer, if it shows like red,
Hmm.
um, or another color. It doesn't have to be red, of course. It used to be red in MO. It would just be nice because then like, okay, this guy's a murderer. Is like a much better chance that this guy's like an RPK guild or something. Right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm just wondering.
Valine wants to know what guilds are on your list.
Say again? Who?
Valine from Dread wants to know who's on your list, like of guilds that you're killing or fighting.
Well, if Alien's wondering, Dread is on our list.
Is it like
Obviously.
a long list or is it just like a few guilds currently?
It so the thing about that is it's quite long. A reason being is because we have been playing for quite a while now. But also what happens is you get people re-rolling and then people kind of ruin the reputation of that guild and then they just like reform a new guild. And so on our list, I have it separated out. I have like a couple big guilds, I have a couple like medium and small guilds, and then I have a bunch of guilds who are like inactive or thought to be disbanded or whatever. Um so right now the list is quite long. I feel like it's going to be pretty shortened up come persistence.
I think it would get longer. A lot
Maybe
more
maybe
guilds
over
come to the
time.
game.
Shorter and then longer.
Yeah,
Yes.
shorter and then longer.
Yeah, the majority of the guilds that are on the list are names that are probably not surprising to anyone. Legion,
Right.
for example, Legion will pick a fight with anybody. MR Vikings, Jasper Maglots, the Griefers. It's very common names that everyone be like, okay, yeah, I can see why they were fighting them.
Right.
Only a very small number of guilds are for personal reasons, like Omerta. Everyone knows we've been fighting Omerta because they've been attacking the Dark Blood Coven. Everyone knows we're friends with them. So we have very few that are like that, but the majority of them are just other guilds that are just playing the game, fighting who they see.
Yeah, and on the topic of Emerita, they have been RPKing people in the Bhakti graveyard. They
Hmm.
just randomly kill people, so that's kind of like a double reason why they're on our list.
Um,
And there is a difference, obviously, because I see it in chat going off right now about RPK guilds and then your Merc guilds. I believe you and I were talking about that a little bit last night, Putz.
a little bit, yeah. So where do you stand with Merc guilds?
So that's a good question. Cool thing is that I haven't really seen very many true Merc guilds. So I know Seven is a Merc guild. They are not on our hostels list.
Well, yeah. See, that's the thing. I was thinking like I said Merc guilds, that was the first guild I thought of too. But they do RPK that I've seen in a weird way. Like they're selective with their RPK, but they do RPK. Uh, I don't think they label themselves as an RPK guild though. I'm not sure though. I don't know. I haven't seen Seven in a while though.
Yeah, and therein is another reason. I haven't really been presented with much proof or evidence just yet. Like I've heard of it, but it would kind of be jumping the gun for me to just add them. I know at one point they were on our list. It was like, man, it was almost a year ago or something, but I took them off because I just hadn't heard of them doing it anymore. So yeah, I took them off, and they haven't since then.
So when did you guys because you weren't always anti RPK as a guild.
Mm-mm.
So when did you brand anti RPK?
Hold on, Waffle, were you gonna say something?
No, please go ahead.
Okay. So we came to this game and knowing how gritty it is, we weren't even intending on being ARPK, even though I have strong roots in ARPK guilds. At first we wanted to try RPKing, but like I like killed a random guy one time in the wilderness, and then I like felt bad. I'm like this guy could be going through stuff IRL, right? He could be getting divorced. He
God, dude.
like it's just like this guilty conscience. I'm like, okay, so so we're gonna shift over to non-RPK. And non-RPK is you maintain your very own hostels list of only people who aggress you. That's kind of this phrase that we kind of coined. It's a little bit different from ARPK, but it's non-RPK. But then, as time went on, I'm like seeing all these guilds who are being shitty to other guilds, and I'm like, well, it's always been the kind of guild I've led. I've led ARPK guilds. And so I kind of just naturally took it that way again. I'd say around the time of how many months ago? I'd say 4 or 5 months ago is when I shifted over to ARPK officially.
Okay, nice. Valine said that's what makes it better when you're talking about killing that guy and he's divorced.
I mean, the biggest thing is like, and I hammer on this with the guys all the time, is building up the community. Like the last thing I want is for this game to go the way of MO1,
Right.
and make sure that people know what they're doing. People come in, they don't just get ganks, they don't just get walled up into MK or turn into a slave in Toxie. Like, it's kind of not what
Oh, I
retains
wonder who
people.
you're referencing right now.
I still love. Hey, I know the guys. I will say that. Like he threw a hard right a couple times yesterday, but I still love the guys. But it like that's the last thing that'll maintain a player base.
I also really like the political landscape that it creates in this game, which I think
Hmm.
is very unique from a lot of other MMOs. You have these groups that are contracted mercenaries, people that just want to kill on sight, people that want to protect the small guy in ARPK. You create these little factions and these little gangs, if you will, and the world is cut up into these different turfs. And you get these areas almost like in the real world where all these countries are separated by different beliefs, different political standings, and you really build a game upon that, which otherwise would just be a sandbox. And we've seen so many sandboxes fail that to have this extra element, plus all the other elements, I really think it adds some fun and content to the game.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's like different perspectives, different ways to play, which will attract a wider audience. Um, because like, okay, let's say like you're like Degassi, and you played like many other MMOs and always played anti-RPK. If you came into like Mortal Online 2, maybe you played it for like a week just to feel it out, and you realize like quickly like, okay, this is a very like hardcore intense game. Like I'm constantly having to be on alert because I'm not in Haven anymore. I can literally die anywhere. Maybe you're playing a Bhakti where it's like really griefy right now. Um,
Hmm.
and then you decide like, okay, I know a couple of my friends are about to join the game and I want to make a guild. If there was no like already like established like anti RPK, like there was no precedence for it, it would be really daunting to like want to be that first guild, being a small like group of people to like do that. But if you already know that there's other anti RPK guilds and like you're friendly with them or like you reach out to them and they're nice, you know what I mean? Like it just makes like it'll make the game grow having these different perspectives for like newer players who come later on, knowing that like it's doable, it's already been done, it's being done right now. I mean it just opens up more gameplay basically for people. So it's always
Hmm.
good to have, you wouldn't want every guild in the game to be RPK because, well, one, that would probably kill the game off much faster than like having like a diverse group of guilds. And then two, like again, like it just opens up more gameplay, offers up like more different types of conflicts, rather than just like, oh, we kill everyone because we kill everyone. Now you have like, oh, we kill everyone because we have a code versus like we kill everyone because we kill everyone. So I think it's good. I think the game really benefits from having like uh anti RPK guilds in general. I
Totally
think it
agree.
is really hard to uphold it. I think you guys are going to be in for a real challenge, especially once you have like. Well, actually, I haven't asked, but are you guys going for like a keep in territory or?
We are.
Okay,
Not gonna say where, but
okay,
we are.
okay. So like the problem, like so ID, who I believe I know they label themselves as empire building, but I also believe that they tried to like uphold the anti RPK values. But
Yeah, very
like
much so. Back in MO1.
yeah, like it was really hard for them because like they were at war with RPK obviously, and you would constantly have like untagged like nakeds running through their territory, and it got to a point where they just started killing all the untagged like naked or unnaked doesn't matter. The fact is that they were untagged and they didn't know who they were, so eventually they started killing them all because they suspected that they were just RPK like alts, right? Because it was free to play and it was easier to have
Yeah,
a bunch
or
of
they were
alts.
carrying boulders and hauling boulders and crap like that.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously there would be times where it wasn't an RPK guy, right? It would just be some fucking guy, and he's like, okay, well, this guild just killed me. They're a bunch of dickheads. So it's gonna be. That's what I'm saying. It's gonna be really hard for because that you're gonna end up with that situation at some point. How often it happens, I don't know, but at some point that's gonna happen to you, where it's like you're at war with some guild, and you have a bunch of like random people you've never seen before running through your territory. It's like, okay, do I kill this guy? Like, the untouchable because I'm anti RPK. I don't know. Like that's gonna put you at a disadvantage in war. I think more than anything.
No,
My,
I can agree with that.
yeah, my views might be different than my companions here, but I think if you are empire building and you set your own territory, um, I don't think at that point it's considered random player killing anymore because your rules are as I own it like Meduli. If you owned Meduli and you had all these naked people running by and you tell them, hey, get a tag, what are you doing? And they just keep seeing them doing the same thing. It's like, hey, we're gonna kill you. And at that point, I no longer think it's random anymore. Guys, feel free to disagree with me, but that just seems like enforcing borders to me, as far as empire building
No.
goes.
Yeah, that's what I was going to go on as well. Whenever you can have your territory you control, you're going to be roaming around. So you're going to know for the most part who's building inside of my territory because at least the way that's written is you're the one who's going to be handing out a lot of the land deeds for the territory you have. And there's nothing stopping you from running up on you see this naked guy running through your territory, run up on him, circle him, and ask him questions and see why he's there, what he's doing. And it builds up your presence in the first place as well. Just by doing that, people know, oh god, these guys are actually watching their area, patrolling their area, so on and so forth.
Yeah, and maybe
Right.
like a thing too is you just run up to him and ask him like nicely, like, "Hey, can you drop loot? If you don't have anything
Hmm.
like sus, I'm not gonna take any of your stuff."
Yeah, and having that reputation where I'm not here just to gank you and do that stuff. People are going to be willing to do that, or the alternative. It's just
Right.
protecting your assets at that point. Like it legitimately is protecting what's yours and what you control.
Yeah, and I think someone said in chat, get ready for people to call you Pkrs the moment you do that. Well, on one
Hmm.
side of that perspective is like their enemies are going to call them Pkrs regardless on alts, whatever, because the propaganda machine never stops. And
Right.
then
No, it does
two,
not.
from like his perspective, if he's being genuine about it, um, it is an issue because like your empire building like playstyle will definitely conflict with your anti RPK playstyle because they don't really mesh all the time. Like sometimes, sure, yeah, like there's no overlap and there's no conflict, but there is going to be conflict with like the situation of like the guy running through your territory doesn't want to drop his loot. Then what? Kill him? Or I mean, because it kind of like that's where the gray area comes into play a bit. Um, but I mean, it's justified. Like if you're in a war, like like shit happens. I don't
Yeah.
know, man. Like,
No, I mean you're defending what's yours. That's the empire building aspect of
yeah,
it as well.
but
Right.
you're gonna have those people that are gonna come after
Oh yeah.
your play style. Sure.
Oh yeah, and the people we like kill, the people on our hostels list, yeah, they'll do just as you said. They'll make a reroll and they'll just call us PKers all the time. Oh, they're actually RPK. Like, I mean, it's already out there, so people are gonna
Yeah,
believe
there's
what they
already
want
Yeah,
to.
and it's
drama
it's
and
building your
politics.
reputation at that point because that's the only thing to eliminate a lot of that crap because people are gonna do it and try to tarnish your name is just being able to build up a better reputation.
Yeah, I mean, people
Reputation
already
is
do it to like
evidence.
the nicest guilds ever, like
Hmm.
just to troll them. Like it already
Mhm.
happens. And there's not even assets or anything at stake now, and people just do it just to troll, just to be a dick.
Oh yeah.
For the game. Okay. Um, so you've already kind of touched on this. Alliances. Do you guys have any, or is that open publicly? I don't know.
Hmm. We strongly believe in the power of alliances. We have many allies. I'm not gonna list them all. But yes, we do have alliances.
Valine wants to ally. Says ally dread.
No, thank you.
Okay, denied Valine.
Become
He's used to it. Don't
ARPK.
worry.
Yeah,
Let's get the
become
tables off.
ARPK.
Don't just have the entire guild log in as soon as someone sees one person in GK.
Yeah. But yeah, in all seriousness though, I am actually building an alliance. You may have already heard of it, maybe not. I'm calling it the Free Tribes, and it's basically a collection of non-RPK and ARPK guilds.
Oh, fuck. Someone mentioned it. Maybe in my podcast
Yeah,
yesterday.
it was in the podcast
I
yesterday.
saw Free Tribes. And I didn't know who that was, but I figured it was like the Curite Village people. So okay, that makes sense. I heard about it yesterday or read it or something. Definitely saw it somewhere. It might be in my comments. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's cool. Um, okay. well, then I guess this is kind of a silly question, but maybe like your officers have a different opinion. Like, do you think that there should? Because me and Raven were talking about this last night. Raven, um, are you guys like pro for the game adding like alliance features, or do you think it should be kind of how it is now, where there's no even like small features that are like leaning towards like pro alliance or like anti alliance? Like, there's not like debuffs for like being around another big guild, like reduced healing or anything, which would be like an anti alliance feature. And there's no like colored names like for your alliance members, which would be like a pro alliance feature. So it's not like pushing you either way currently, because there's nothing in the game telling you like subtly that this is the way to go or that's the way to go. Like, do you guys think that there should be like, are you pro features, or like are you more against like features being in the game?
I am pro features provided they don't give any buffs or debuffs. Like if you want to have all your allies show up as green when you hover over their name, that's awesome. Do damage to an ally like when you're training in town, sure, that's fine. But if you have a guild that's allied with another guild and now everyone's 5% stronger with melee hits, that kind of defeats it. It kind of shoehorns everyone into a single direction. So I'm pro for certain buffs, provided that they're neutral to all parties involved.
I feel the same way. There should be some kind of pro thing where, you are in a guild and you're in a town where your allies live and you just want to duel with them a little bit instead of going out of town where you're in danger of a grief or just hitting you and when you're on mercy or something. You should be allowed to duel each other in town, kind of like the war deck right now is, where you turn off criminal actions. If you swing at a guard, it's not going to aggro the guard, but instead you're still going to hit your opponent. I'm pro things like that, but like Hexa said, nothing that gives you, extra healing, extra strength, like you're able to shoot faster or something like that. I think that would just break the game. Everybody would just join into one big thing to just go after a smaller guild.
And I know you and I, again, we touched on it last night with our opinions. I the reason allies are together is to help defend each other and to help protect each other. Not necessarily out of fear, which I know you've got and we touched on, but if you don't have any kind of mechanic in place, like say someone war decks your ally and they're bringing their friends over and you're bringing your friends over to defend, like say, their keep. If there's no mechanics in place, your allies and their allies are getting essentially, they're ruining their reputation at that point, because yes, if you're war deck together, you're not losing standing, you're not getting murder counts. But what about your allies that are helping you in that fight to protect your keep? There needs to be some way to pull an ally into and have an actual known ally within the game. That way, you don't have that issue where you're losing all of your standing, all of your murder counts, the whole 9 yards, to where you're like MO1, where you, even as an ARPK guy, you lived as a red because that's just how you had to live if you're an ARPK guy. And that was the thing. And the big issue was, yes, even if you were trying to protect people, you still had the issue of turning red. And God forbid you're a mage and turn red in MO1.
Well, I mean, I'm definitely like super 100% of the opinion that like outside of like a certain radius of a town, murder count shouldn't even be a fucking thing. First
Yeah,
of
'cause,
all,
I mean, who's gonna
especially if
report
there's no
the fact you killed
witness.
someone? Yeah.
Yeah, if there's no witness on top of that, it's like, how does it even make fucking sense? Like, I mean, like I get like you're in the other world and you're still, your soul's still there or whatever, and then you res and you can tell them then, but it's like, I don't know, it just makes for bad gameplay. If you're out in the fucking, if you're out of town, it should be lawless. Like, there's no murder counts.
Mhm.
Murder counts should be like a anti-griefer mechanic that applies to towns but nowhere else. Like, I don't know, because like you're gonna have like these big siege battles, probably like 50 to 100 people on each side, and then it's like, what are you now like insta fucking like negative 25 rep in your hometown because they all went to decide to go back to your town just to grief you with the mechanics in the game? Because that's what's gonna happen.
No,
I
absolutely, and
guarantee
I
it,
think it
like
was, Halsey
100%.
was talking about that, wasn't it? And started that as far as, like, "I'm just gonna go kill everyone in Tindrum because I don't care about my Tindrum rep, and then they're gonna come over to my town and kill me because they don't care about their current
Well,
rep," kinda
I've been
thing.
saying that since like when they first, even before the rep was even in the game. I was already
Mhm.
saying like, well, why would the loser get to dictate where you lose rep? They literally lost the fight. Why are they now dictating where I lose rep? Because
Yeah.
it's like I just won, but now you're giving them their own win by like allowing them to go to my town where they don't have rep at all or give a fuck. Now I'm losing rep in my hometown. Like, it's so stupid. I mean, even Aku said on the podcast yesterday, he's like, "Well, me and RPK guys, like, if we know like you live in Bhakti, or maybe okay, if they knew you lived in Fabrinum because it's a different faction, they're just all gonna go over to Fabrinum and make you lose rep there. Like, they're
Hmm.
not gonna go make you lose rep in a town that you don't give a fuck about. Like, they're gonna grief you on purpose because it's funny. That's what he said. So,
Yeah, I mean that's
like,
that's
shit's gonna
100%
happen.
Abu.
Like,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I
And
mean,
I do like the red system better. At least it's not based off just how many people you kill or you're perma red or you're red immediately. When red means you can't even go to town. Like I do understand what they were trying to do with the rep system by making it another reason why you can't go into town and something you can farm up versus having to leave your character logged in for literally a month to get rid of all your murder counts.
well, technically, being red means the exact same thing it means in MO1. It just like you just don't physically show as red, and now they have
Yeah.
reputation on top of it. Like you'll still only be able to respawn at like a
A
red
red
priest.
priest, yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Um.
depending on the town you're in can suck.
Oh God, fucking MK is horrible for red priest. Like it's
Oh
so
god.
bad. You have to run all the way around and then up the scaffolding and
Well, that's
just
like Hellspea. There isn't a red priest anywhere near there. The only one is the one by the Granum Pass.
dude,
Yeah.
dude, I forget Hespelia
It's a
even
cool town.
exists.
I'm not gonna lie,
I,
it's a really pretty town, dude.
It's a really cool town that has received like 0 love since it's like implementation. Like
Yeah.
it's worse than Moki. Like it's literally worse than Moki. I know it
Uh,
is because I
no.
constantly forget about it.
Yeah, but there's a lot you can do up there, I will say
There
that.
is. The only issue with Hellspare right now is that it's a one-way in town, so it's easy griefable. It's
Mhm. It's, like,
easily,
worse than MK is as far as that goes.
yeah.
Well, if you think about it the other way too, it's easily defendable if you're living there and someone Wardex you.
Yeah.
You have to hold the one pass. So you can't get to bank or whatever. Guards would attack you if you were red in MO. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. But someone asked, I was gonna ask earlier, Ishin or Gideon asked if will you guys be actively hunting and killing larger groups such as Kodo and Legion? I don't. Is Kodo on your list?
They are.
Okay.
Yeah, reason being is because they RPK. I
Yeah.
know they say they don't RPK in their own town, which I don't know, that's debatable, I've heard, but everywhere
I've
else, yeah.
I've heard multiple things about how they PvP. Like I've heard that they're anti RPK and they defend Midoi. Then I think I've heard Kutara himself, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure he said that they don't kill people in Meduli, but outside, like they roam PvP and will kill you. But it's like I don't know if they have like a
It's
clear
very much an image front with them on what they
yeah.
put forward and what they do behind it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they showed up in groups to Bhakti just to grief.
I
Literally
mean,
grief.
Kuthara is not new to this game whatsoever, and he definitely have a history behind himself.
I think
You guys
well I
fight
think
Legion all the time, don't you?
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, and we do PvP roams all the time, like
And we're not going after, well, there's maybe one or two guilds we would, but we're not going whenever we go out in Rome. We're not targeting, hey, we're going to go find this particular guild and kill this particular guild kind of thing. Like, I don't have the patience for that to, like, only hunt one guild. It's like we roam around and we look around to see what we can find, get into what kind of entertainment I can have, who I can find that's transporting goods in the middle of the night, and they're not mine.
Yeah, maybe at launch when like guilds have territory and stuff, and
Yeah.
like Legion's right there on your doorstep. If you stay in Bhakti, it's like okay, well if we go here, we know we're gonna fight Legion. So
right.
Mhm.
maybe when the games were populated. But
Yeah, and I
I've
mean,
never gone off on a roam like, oh, I'm gonna kill this fucking guild because I know they're gonna be right here. It's like, no, that never happens right now.
no, I mean, you'll go
Yeah.
into an area you know they live in just to see if they're there kind of thing, but you're not, I'm going to go here because I know they're here and they're going to come out and fight us kind of thing. Like, we'll go out and we'll fight. And I mean, hell, we spent a bunch of time in the arena, myself and Razor did um, a while back, just fighting and dueling people, man. I mean, that's what there is to do right now.
Hmm.
I mean, it's a good time, like, in all honesty. Like, I actually am really happy they implemented it. I wish the frames were a little bit better because it's every once in a while it freaking goes drop down to like 20 for me.
Yeah, it'll get optimized.
Oh, yeah. It
They
just takes
got
time.
other shit on their plate, like the housing and shit.
Oh yeah, I know that's going to take a lot of resources. I'm interested to see how that's going to work when it comes to building the keeps up.
Um, okay, so my next question for you guys is like, whatever you're willing to share as far as like launch plans. Like, are you guys planning to play in Bhakti or go to a different town or what?
So right now, yeah, we're planning on being in Bhakti. However, it's not like if something changes, we're unwilling to change. But right now, yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah, I found like too, like it's very like refreshing, like just up and move to a different town and then like a whole new area, mobs and
Hmm.
creatures. It's very like, yeah, it's just refreshing. It's like makes you like more motivated to play too sometimes. Because after a while, like yeah, I couldn't fucking play Meduli. I'll never live in Meduli, for example, because it's just so boring and it's like open. And it's I don't know. It's just like not nice to look at even. But like
Mm.
if you went from like Fabrinum to like Warren Kerr, for example, which what my guild did, like it's very like like the scenery is very different. Like the landscape is very different. The mobs are different. It's like so it's like kind of like playing a new game almost because usually you just kind of stay in your area for the most part when you are playing like because it's takes too long to travel every single day to like go to like jungle camp. It takes like 4 or 5 hours to go there and back and I don't think. Well, I mean, there probably are people who do that like every single day, but I couldn't.
Me.
Yeah, I was gonna say this man lives in the damn jungle. I like the jungle. I know how to go north and south, and that's the best I got.
You ask for something that's in the jungle, I'll point you right to it, give you landmarks and everything. You'll get there in no time.
I've
But
literally streamed and been in the middle of the woods, and he's like, "Oh, I know where you are," and he's there in like 10 minutes. I'm like, "How, dude? There's like legit just trees around me. Like, what are you doing?"
Yeah, I'm working on this Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, but that's the beauty of the game. I think a lot of people say that there's no content in the game right now. There's plenty of content, man. There's stuff to be discovered. There's items out there that people are having. Like for example, in the Alchemist Discord that Gilder has running, there's a problem. Not a problem, but there's a thing right now where people can't find the certain herbs. I found a couple of them, and I've told certain people to go and find them and give them directions and all that. But there's these kind of things that you go out there and discover. That to me, it's the content you create in the game for yourself rather than the content the game has for you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think it's just because everyone knows it's gonna wipe. I think more than anything, I guarantee there'd be like so many more people playing with the content we have currently if they knew it wasn't gonna wipe. But because it's gonna wipe, people don't want to get burned out grinding and exploring and doing all these things just for it to like wipe and possibly change by launch or something.
Yeah, I still see
Um,
this as an opportunity, though. I mean, I know exactly what materials to go get, slap them in the market, and walk away. And by the time they sell, I have 100 to 150 gold in the market waiting for me when I get back in town.
the market will change too at launch.
Yeah, I'm sure it will,
Yeah,
but you know what I'm
it
saying.
needs to.
Yeah, I hope it does. I hope the mailing system does, and they add something like a courier kind of thing where you mail something to someone for a price and it takes like a couple hours to get to the next town. That would be cool.
What do you mean? There you have that.
They don't
Not to
like
like another town, but the same town.
yeah, the same town's what I'm saying, but like if they were to add like a courier system where you pay an NPC
That
certain
would never happen.
No,
it
I don't think
it'll
so.
be cool, like if they
Be
did were
players.
to add that and you see the horse going out there with like guards and whatever, and you can go as a guild and kill them and steal the goods that are being traveled.
Oh, I mean, yeah, if it's physically in the world, maybe,
Yeah,
yeah.
that would be freaking cool because he did
Somebody
say
just needs to start the Pony Express. That's all I want.
Pony
Yeah, isn't
Express.
there like a whole like company in EVE Online that you can like literally
Oh yeah.
pay to deliver your goods and shit?
Hmm.
Like that I've used them
Yeah,
before. I can't even remember what they're called, but that shit was pretty cool.
see, like something like that. I think would bring some kind of content in the game and will give people a reason to go out there in the world and look for these caravans,
Billy, or just do it yourself as a player in MMO.
or that. Yeah,
I
You
mean, maybe
can.
we would
I
get
have run into
wagons
some
too.
interesting times.
Wagons would be
Yes.
huge for caravans, like
Oh,
transporting like
absolutely.
massive amounts of goods for like keeps or whatever. That'd
And
be
I mean,
dope.
transporting right now, it's not so bad because the game is in a bit of a lull. But because I mean, I travel by myself all the time. I have definitely rolled up on some people who were transporting things, and actually, this happened a couple days ago. I was doing that, and the dude legitimately ran and jumped himself off a cliff because I was chasing him because I was just wanting to see who it was. I was curious, and he jumped himself off the cliff. It wound up being a guy that was on our KOS list, which worked out. But I'll take the free shit. And I mean, that's the thing. You have to know where you're going if you're doing it by yourself, because eventually the game's going to be populated again, especially at launch. And trying to traverse
right.
like between towns using major roads and things is not going to be safe whatsoever.
No, and that's the part of the things that I've been, myself taking care of. Finding routes to get into town safely, out of town. I know how to sneak into towns and all that, full of goods with horses and all that, and riding the horse without doing the glitches or all that. And I think that's part of the game, finding these routes for yourself, and that how you can share this information with your guild or allies, so you can safely travel and find things faster, or find faster routes to get to
Hmm.
places, which is going to be a key, when persistence hits.
For
And just
sure.
exploring in general is fun in the game right now. I mean, I literally straight up, I'll be like, huh, it looks like I can go up this path. Where does this go? And like wind myself up on the top of a mountain overlooking the Bhakti Keep.
Yeah, that wait, are you counting the keep that's like southwest or the keep that's like east? Bhakti keep.
South, the one that's southwest, the one that's the big mountain range that you walk past if you're going down the main trail between Moki Bhakti.
So the one
The
across
one
the
to the
bridge?
No, that's the
or,
jungle keep. I think I said
oh yeah,
Kinteri keep.
that's
The
Kinteri
other
Keep.
one's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
east.
Yeah, the other one is
Yeah,
southeast a little of Bhakti.
Okay. Oh, I thought it was like oh, maybe I'm just going off the map. I haven't been there. Oh, the map, yeah, on the map it's northeast technically. It could be southeast.
yeah. I think it's southeast because you can take that road and it loops you around, and then from there, if you go east, it'll lead you to the Moki Keep.
Okay. Yeah, that fucking I think they call it Broken Water Keep, Jungle Keep. That
Hmm.
one's fucking disgusting. I went there yesterday.
I looked at the
Um,
bridge and turned around. I was like, nah, I'm good.
no, like if you go across that bridge, that plateau opens up so big. It's like there's so you could build so much shit on that fucking plateau.
Really.
Like you, whoever lives there, once they have like breeding pens and like farming plots, they're gonna be fucking massively. Because all you'd have to do is you'd have to put like a bunch of guard posts right at the end of the bridge, and maybe even on the other side of the bridge if you can put guards over there too, and that's it. Like nobody, you can't get to there otherwise. How else are you gonna get there? There's only
Hmm.
one bridge in and out. I mean, you just fill up that bitch with fucking breeding pens and like farming plots. Fucking never have to leave. You make millions of gold. Easy.
Yeah, and I mean the jungle's great for resources. I know a lot of people hate the jungle, but it really is a cool spot.
No, it's gonna be great. I mean, what? We only have like 3 mobs there now, and it's already fucking great. Like, actually, no. Okay, we have a lot more than we have like 6
No,
now.
you've got a couple. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't counting the beach creatures at all. I was counting like
Oh
Campodons,
yeah, 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 okay.
fucking satyrs and hunter lizards, and then I forgot it was like shore prowlers, crabs, and fucking turtles now. Yeah, it's already got a bunch of shit, man. It's already good, dude.
It really does. Yeah, I love the turtles, man. I'm not gonna lie.
I just realized the other day too. I never killed a Campodon until yesterday. I didn't realize they dropped like fucking 18 stacks. I was like,
It's
what the fuck, dude?
it's that's a freaking big ass elephant, man.
I
That's a
don't
lot of
know.
meat, dude.
Actually, I haven't even used an Alverin to butcher, but like with a human, you get
Oh, you're missing out.
4K. You get 4K Malarium, 4K Ironbone, and 4K Incisium from one elephant
Yeah.
with a human hybrid or a human butcher. That's not even Alverin, so it's like that's fucking insane, dude. 3 elephants and you're already a stack each of those materials, and whatever else it drops. I don't know. Like,
It drops iron bone as well.
no, yeah, I said Ironbone, Malarium, and Incisium. I don't know besides that what else.
Yeah, but I mean, Incisium now isn't worth it anymore. It's like, especially with like the crabs and the turtles out now, like it's not worth it to
It's
get
still
really.
good though. I mean, you
Yeah,
can only get it in the jungle too, right?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
So it'll be worth something in the north. It's probably not gonna be worth shit in
yeah. That's
Bhakti,
true.
but if you go to like
Yeah,
Favernum or Tendrum or something, it'll be worth something.
yeah. Because I know a lot of those guys typically will avoid the jungle and don't go down that far south.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely plan to have like some sort of like little outpost or something, or at least a
Oh
house
yeah,
in the jungle, because it's gonna be so good.
I can't wait
Especially,
till
and especially if someone builds a trading post or something like that, like through the pass leading in and out of the jungle, it's going to be
yeah.
super populated. There's going to be towns built up in those areas because of that fact.
I can't wait till there's a trade on Nahuat. Take it into towns and have people smoke it.
I don't know what they're going to do with Nahuatl, honestly, or if they just put it in as a gag.
I think you're gonna have to have some kind of high reputation in order to take it to town, because at one point guards did attack you, or they looked at you wrong and drew their weapons on you if you had it in your bags. But recently, I haven't seen that, and I have a lot of it in the bank. So, and I don't have any rep because we live in Bach. They have like 2 rep left.
what stack of turtle meat is worth 15 gold on vendor? What the fuck?
Yeah,
Is that
it
true?
is.
Yeah,
Yes, that's 100%
the
facts.
crab meat is 15 gold a stack.
Wait, how much meat do they drop from like a kill?
If you're in Alveran a lot, you can go in there for an hour and kill a lot out. the spawns on the beach, come back with your bags full in an hour. Just butchering on the spot, you get
It's
the
like 90 gold.
carapace. Yeah, you can make about 90 to 100 gold on one run if you sell everything to vendors, or if you sell to the in the market, you could get a lot more. Because I know people are gouging the prices since nobody's doing all that in the hunting or the butchering in the jungle.
Yeah, and you can absolutely solo parry the. I haven't done it with the crabs yet to try, but I know the turtle you can.
I didn't know that. That's like the
They
only meat I've ever seen worth that much, I think.
right. And I mean,
Alright.
obviously, it's all subject to change with everything coming in too.
My next question is, who do you guys like to PvP the most, like of other groups?
Legion at this moment, I would say, right?
I was just gonna say all of the above. Anyone on the hostels list.
Legion's my favorite because
Yeah, and they're cool dudes. Like,
they are. It's like you
Yeah.
fight, you know what they're about. They're like the Team Rocket, the real Team Rocket from Pokemon, not the one we have here. But it's like you know what they're about. You fight them, and they're like, you know what? We're blasting off again. We'll see you next Tuesday. They're just really cool people. Just different
Yeah.
play styles. So I like fighting them the most.
Yeah, same. And the best part is that there's no salt. Like they kill you, it's all good, and they respect one-on-ones. If you ask them to fight one-on-one, sometimes they'll let you walk away if you win.
yeah, and I mean that happened not too long ago. Actually, we were drunk as hell, just roaming around the map, and Glitch was being Glitch in chat, and I told him like, "Nah, dude, show up in town. I'll meet you there." And like we did. We showed up there. We fought. We shot the shit for a minute. Like they're dudes you can actually have a conversation with, and then go out and fight, and still be able to have a like friendly conversation with them without any salt and anything like that. And that's something that's sorely lacking with a lot of the community right now.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
like how they actually show up when they say they're going to, not come up with an excuse like, "Oh, well, I actually have Eve things to do," and then just completely leave, like some people we know. So I do
Yeah.
like that they put their spears and swords where their mouth is, which I like.
Or say, no, I'll come out and talk to you, and then walk out of the bank, look you in the eyes, turn around and log out.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Not that that's ever happened or anything.
What do your like day-to-day activities as a guild look like? For like members, like
Well, we actually have a guild calendar on a website, so we pre-plan activities. So one day, we might be getting like a hodgepodge of guilds together and doing like group fights where we pick teams. The next day we might be going out to gather resources for guild use. What else? The next day we might be roaming to see what kind of trouble we can get into. And another day we might be doing a dungeon like minotaurs or satyrs or going over the Tindrum sewers. It really it varies from day to day. A little bit of
alright,
everything.
you see me typing, it's if I think of a question I want to ask, I have to write it down because I'll forget.
Yeah, you're
You're
good,
good,
bud.
you're good. Another thing that I usually do is I send a message 30 minutes before I head out to the jungle. If anybody wants to come on a small expedition, I wait for people. If nobody comes on within 30 minutes, I leave. But I usually get 2 or 3 people to come with me, and it turns into a whole other thing. We come back in town full of mats. We spend so much time in the jungle, and we just go and sell things and donate to the guild. Part of it goes to the players that came with. So we do a bunch of random things. But we do
Yeah.
have our events, weekly events where we're now trying to go to the what's it called, the Minotaur dungeon, um, and other things, Spider Queen and all that.
Yeah, and a lot of times our guild events will actually turn into free tribes events, and we can get a roam of about 30 people just going to a destination and doing the thing.
Is Valhalla and Free Tribes?
They are.
Love the Valhalla guys.
Oh, yeah, they're great.
Kevin, because he streams. I'll go into his He's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, Londo's good dude, man. He's funny.
I got him to jump
They're
on his
good
bed when I
people.
followed his channel. And then I uh asked him how much to shave half your beard off. And he was like, if you give 10 subs. And then I was about to do it. And he's like, oh, no, I'm just kidding, dude. I'm just kidding. I'm not sure. I was like, oh, damn. Funny. Um, um,
And
so
like basic dueling and things like that happen pretty regular too. Like obviously, with the condition of Bhakti right now, we will do it somewhere else. But going out and just like sparring and things like that's a big thing we do.
Not just sparring. Like, I know a lot of guilds, they hold guild practices where they spar, and then there's no feedback from the vet players to the new players. I will take like two new players, and I'll basically coach them on how to fight each other, and like basically like, okay, so you see what he's doing. This is how I would counter that. And then to the other person, I'd be like, don't let him do what I just told him to do. Like, so yeah, basically backseat driving, training people in every situation, like how to fight.
Okay, good. Um. So you guys, wait. I mean, I know we talked about. I kind of forgot. I'm sorry. Did you say like you have like an empire building playstyle, correct? Or
I don't know what that is. There's a lot of definitions of that. What do you
okay,
mean?
so
Your
basically you plan
definition
to
of
own a keep, and then I assume you'll have like your laws in your territory that you'll be specific to like your play style and like what you guys expect from people in your territory, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's kind of like empire building is where like you have your like you plan to own territory, you plan to have your own laws. So what kind of like I don't know if you guys have already talked about this, but what kind of like laws do you plan to have in your territory for like people that you know and allow to build outside your keep or whatever, or just in your territory in general? You have like laws that you guys have discussed for like citizens. Well,
Not at this point. I'm kind of curious to see how everything's gonna work. Obviously, being non-RPK, ARPK, um, it's gonna align with those values for the most part.
And we do have a leadership meeting coming up within the next week with the Bhakti tribes, all of the leadership from all of the alliances coming together and probably hashing this stuff out. So I assume these will be formalized within the near future.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because right now there's still so much up in the air. We don't even truly know how TC is going to function as of yet, because it's not even coming out with the keeps, which is another topic entirely. Um,
right.
but there's so much up in the air that none of us really know. We have our ideas based off of MO1, how everything was then, but without control towers, how's that going to function exactly?
All right.
I can't believe they still haven't even talked about it. Like I don't
Well, I
think
mean,
they
Yeah.
they haven't even
know.
showed us a picture of a freaking like. When's the last time you saw a picture of any kind of siege equipment either?
Yeah.
Never.
I
They
mean,
never
I
shown.
I know what a man game looks like in MO1, and it looks like trash. So that's about the best I got.
I mean, the model should be like by far like the easiest part about it, right? It's like the
Yeah, I mean, at least show
functionality and the
that
coding
off.
is what's gonna take a while.
Hmm.
So if we don't even have like the model, it's just kind of scary to think how far out that could be like five
Yeah.
months out or something. Because you have to have like this object in the game. It has to be able to move, hopefully at least, and then it has to be able to. You have to load it and then shoot it at something else, which is not something we have currently at all in the game anywhere. Like you don't have that type of code currently in the game. So this is new code that they're writing up and or possibly taking
I
from
think
MO1.
bows. They could possibly pull some of the code off of bows at least, because of projectile base.
Maybe, but it's like that's equipped. It's not like a static object in the
Yeah.
world. Uh but anyways, I mean, and then it has to be able to shoot this thing. It has to hit this other thing that's also static in the world. Yeah, there's like a lot of coding that goes behind that. Is all I'm saying.
No,
So that could
absolutely.
take a
And I
really
know
long time to make it work properly.
properly being the key term there. I think.
Yeah, because just because we have seeds in the game, don't mean it fucking works. Just like some of the other shit we already have in the game that doesn't work, like bosses.
Yeah, well, I mean that's the interesting thing too, because if you look at it like in MO1, I don't know how much you play. Did you play a mage in MO1, Putz?
Not really, no.
So like spurt was an actual projectile. You could see the physical thing of water travel. Same thing with which is now outburst fireball. You could see the actual fireball travel within the world versus just being I click you and a thing happens.
Right.
So a lot of that back in MO1, I'm hoping is going to make its way into MO2. It's just a matter of them recoding it and changing everything around, because that would be a lot better to actually see, and I think it'd be a lot more engaging as well for people casting Magic to actually see this thing traveling in the game world versus a click and hit.
Well, I mean, he said we're getting that physical reflect spell for mages that's like self cast only or whatever, and then he also says that ecumenical is getting like some other buffs
Yeah, I mean it's
soon. I don't know what they're changing. He hasn't said specifically.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see that and just see the cries within general about the fact that mages are OP.
Ogre fat mages are still OP. I don't even play Ogre. I don't give a. They're
No,
fucking
I've got a
Ogres.
human fat mage, man. I love my human fat mage.
Yeah, human fat mages.
I got-
There you go. These Ogmere fat mages are just like asleep, dude. They don't even play the game in my book. Fucking using bows, tumor, you fucking loser. I'm just kidding. All right, anyways,
I just don't understand how they identify fat with intelligence. It just makes no sense.
oh yeah, that's a topic too. So in MO1 we had Sarduka. I mean, are you guys familiar with the other continents that are supposedly supposed to be released at whatever point?
I am, yeah.
Okay. What about you, Degassi?
I'm vaguely familiar. I've heard stories of them.
Okay, so basically, just like a rundown of the ones that I know is Herbalter is like the Rysar place. That's where they come from. It's like kind of looks like Mordor, basically. Just picture Mordor, and that's what Herbalter is supposed to be. Then you have like
Ooh.
Oh, you mean
Lykia,
like
which is
totally not the Black Gates by GK?
yeah, it's not the Black Gates to go to Mordor. No, that goes to Herbalter.
Yeah.
Then you have like Lykia, or I think it's called something else now. It's called like Your Mama or some shit. Someone said. I can't remember what they said.
Hang on. I've got a picture of what the map was. Give me a second.
Yeah. Pull up the map. But they have like a Lykia. It's like a jungle continent or whatever it's called now. Then they have Sarduka, which is like the desert, whatever shit we had in MO1. Then they have Nordveld, which is like just like the snow continent, ice continent, whatever. That the whatever the what are they called? Are they actually called Nordveld, the clade from humans or whatever? What are they called? Or is they, no, cowards. I'm
no,
sorry, it's
Cowards,
cowards.
yeah, the
Yeah,
Cowards,
cowards.
the
That's where
Nord.
they come from. Yeah. And then we have the Sidoan Isles, which is like the Sidoan clade. That's like its own like huge big islands in southwest of like Julia area or some shit, like south of Sarduka, basically. So anyways, knowing like these continents, like which one do you think, like without knowing anything really about them, would you possibly want to live on in the future, the guild?
Man, I
Like,
don't know.
yeah, I know
I
it's
don't
kind of a
know.
hard question. I was just
Yeah, there's
curious.
so much up in the air.
I know there's
Yeah.
like you know nothing about any continent except for Sarduka, and it probably wasn't even finished by the time MMO was done. There's probably still stuff being added. Or
My
I
I
vote
mean,
is
there
for
was
Mordor.
nothing. Like Sarduka was so barren except for like a couple little places. Like that was. I don't know if you've seen the joke maps where it's like desert, desert, more desert, a town, desert.
didn't it have its own jungle too, in part of it or something?
In the north area of it, I believe, was the jungle
Yeah.
for it.
You know where I'm gonna be at.
Right.
What in Sarduka?
The northern jungle.
Oh yeah.
The only one that I have, the image of it is trash, so you can't even see it.
I will move to the Mordor continent. I'll travel back on business, but then I'm going right back. So
You could sail over to Sarduka. It'd probably be faster to sail.
Yeah, I'm
In
excited
your
for that
boat
to come out, man.
coming 2030, you know.
Coming out for MO3.
MO3 2031.
I mean, I think he can accomplish a lot of the things he's talking about, though. Absolutely, I think if we get up a good player base set up, and there's going to be some toxicity in the game, that's always going to exist.
Dude,
But
I don't see how sailing's supposed to fit in this game. Like, what happens when you crash on your boat? Does it keep sailing forward? Does your body get left behind? You log off on the boat. What happens when you're done for the night? Where's the boat go? Put it in a stable?
well, I think
Tank?
that he's trying to treat it similar to kind of like a like how keeps are. It's supposed to be a mobile keep, essentially, or not a keep, a stronghold. Sorry. So I think it's going to be one of those things where it stays in the world unless you like go to a town per se where you can dock at.
like a harbor, just same thing with the
Mhm.
horses. You pull into a harbor and then boop, your mobile fortress is gone.
I mean, it doesn't make sense. I agree with that, but I think that's the only way you can do it, just because of how many boats are possible to be in the world at a time. I think that's going to be the only way to handle that. Is that it has to stay in the world somehow, be it you anchor it and then you can log out and it's going to stay there, you log back in on your boat kind of thing. I
I'd
don't know.
say
We're
boats.
looking like 5 years in the future at this point, talking about
You can
boats
lock your
probably.
boat? Fuck.
I'd say smaller boats should be able to pull into a harbor, but I think those big moving fortresses, if you will, where literally guilds pile on, I think those suckers need to stay out in the open, you know? If you're that
Yeah.
confident in yourself, leave it out there, you know, see how long it lasts. I
You'll
think
just
that
have
would just
some
raise the stakes.
you'll just have some guy come out on a raft with like no investment whatsoever, but have like a stack of fire arrows and just burn your shit down all blind. Like,
It's-
Hey,
that's
hey, you're giving a certain guild ideas, all right?
hey,
yeah, that's
can't
what's
do it.
gonna
I don't know. I
happen.
don't know what
No, you're
advice to
not
give.
wrong.
Like you'll park your boat all the way on like the corner of the map, but someone's just gonna know. Like someone's probably parked out there. They're gonna take that 2 hour trip on their little fucking paddle raft and just go out there, find your boat, and just sink that shit, dude. Call us boys. I found it. Like, get the rats together, dude. Balian's gonna fucking take his little canoe out from the sewers and just
Right. So it'll
burn
be
your
the
shit down,
new
dude.
hammering somebody's house to death.
Oh yeah, he did say that that's gonna be impossible. Now you're actually gonna have to put the work to destroy somebody's
Yes,
house.
which is nice because legitimately you could just
Yeah.
get a group of like 5 dudes and just hammer on a house and just
I,
walk away from your
yeah,
computer and the
I
house
think
disappeared.
he underestimates the amount of work some salty people will put in
Yeah.
against people they don't like.
Or just for the like straight up. The sad thing is just for the lulls too.
In
Yeah.
MO1, you could take like one man cannon and destroy like an entire palisade almost of stuff. And then on top of it is like I don't know what the drop chance was, but like there was a drop chance for like scrap or whatever it was called, and then also like the deed itself of whatever you were destroying. So basically it was like fucking super profitable to like raid people's
Hmm.
shit and burn everything down. So there was constantly just like guilds like RPK or maybe like Gutter Snipes or whoever just constantly going around who don't give a fuck about politics, just sieging everyone's shit down, which is obviously really bad for player retention if like you're some new guy, you took a week, of your time and built this fucking nice ass house and you wake up and it's completely like just fucking ruins. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, well what the fuck? Like I didn't even get to defend my shit, dude.
Mhm. Yeah, and I mean, I know in MO1, like all your shit was there. Once the house was destroyed, they could just take everything you had inside the house.
Yeah, I think there was like I don't know if it was always this way. It maybe changed over time to a more Care Bear approach because it was like at a certain point, there was like 24 hours where the owner could come and loot the rubble and get the stuff out before anyone else had access to it.
Hmm.
But again, like, what if you went on like vacation? Like, you have to give your account info to someone. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you don't have like someone you can trust, like you know,
Yeah,
so it
you're
just
just
kind of
screwed at that
sucked
point.
being able to like that sieging in general was just like a profitable act because it was probably really terrible for player retention. Eventually, they got rid of like the D drops and stuff though, so that was like a step in the right. So I only have really one more question for you guys. Have you guys been farming for your keep, or are you still working on it, or how's that going? I'm assuming you're trying to build a keep in the beta, right? To test it and shit.
Yeah, we would
Yes.
be fools not to try
Sorry.
it, but
Got really
yeah,
quiet. I was like, "Oh, is this a secret?"
but yeah, in terms of if we've been farming classified.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I don't have any more questions for you. Uh, does chat? Do you guys have any questions you would like to know for the HoJ Guild? I think we went through a lot. I mean, I had 10, 11 questions that were written down. I think I asked you guys some questions I didn't even have written down too. I think we learned quite a bit. Is there anything you guys would like to say about yourselves that maybe something I didn't go over? You guys can think of?
Hmm. Well, I mean, I could stand on a soapbox and preach about my own guild for like ever, but I don't know. What about you guys?
I mean, the biggest thing is we try to tailor ourselves to be that noob friendly guild more than anything. Like we do have some guys that have played for a long time. We've got guys that have played from the very beginning of beta. We've got guys that have played from back in MO1 for like extended period of times. Be it some guys that played at the tail ends, the beginning. We've got a pretty broad area of I don't want to say expertise because this is a brand new game and things have changed, but kind of knowledge base to draw on for getting new people in, getting new people trained up, used to the game, accustomed to what to expect, what not to expect, what to do, what not to do.
Yeah. Well,
Everybody wants Boomerang still from yesterday.
wait, what happened?
Someone in chat's talking about Boom X because you were trying to get him in yesterday too. I know. You were a little salty about that.
Yeah, he's like on my last 2 podcasts I posted, he'd go in the comment section and be like, "Why do you never invite me to podcast?" Because every time I invite this fucking kid to a podcast, he'll like be like, "Okay, when is it?" And I'll tell him exactly the day, what time, and he'll be like, "Okay, let me check." Literally never hear back from him. And then it's like, is it my fault that you didn't get like what?
No,
I
you
don't
heard back from him.
understand.
It was like 3 hours into the podcast.
Yeah, like he just shows up. What the fuck? I thought you invited me. You didn't tell. I didn't tell him Sunday. I told him Saturday. Like I don't know what he's on.
I don't know. And I mean, the biggest thing is I especially like that's the reason I joined the HOJ is I want the game to succeed more than anything. Like we need to curb some of that, and this group does a really good job with that.
Yeah, a
Um,
lot of people say like, "Oh, so you guys are our peers, right?" And it's like, well, no, that's not true. The game needs guilds like ours. The community needs games like guilds like ours, or else the game will fail.
wait, why do they call you RP? Because you're anti RPK or?
Yeah, we're
The
anti-RPK.
Mongolian
We have
thing and
a
everything else.
yeah, like the hostels list. They're like, "Oh, that's so RP of you guys." Like, yeah, no. New players need a place to come, or else we're not gonna get new players.
Um, your loco from Mer Vikings. He's asking, what is your like primary game time, the most active?
At one point we were 24/7, but due to the lack of content lately, I'd say I myself am West Coast, but a lot of my officers are East Coast. So it's like when people are getting off work to probably I'd say midnight PST.
Yeah, and we're mainly an NA guild.
So like
Yeah.
6 p.m. to maybe like 1 and 2 a.m. Eastern, probably.
Around there, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I'm central, and I'm typically on about 6 to 12, 1, depending on what I got going on the next day.
I've seen them speak in Old English before. Hudson, you guys speak in Old English to people? Maybe that's why they call you RPers.
What?
What?
But
Very well said.
I'm very, very curious to know who this was.
Yeah, same.
Oh, that was the guy from Mer Vikings.
And
Gary
Is he
Loco
thinking of
earlier.
Knights of Maryland? They do that a lot.
yeah, the Knights of Maryland.
Yeah.
They're kind of light RP guild that we're friends with. Oh, and the other thing I will say about us too is we actually have a really good veteran presence as well, as far as like actual military veterans. Like we have
Okay.
quite a few. Like the leadership, 3 of us are military veterans. We've got a bunch of military veterans in our guildies and everything else there.
Yeah, I think that's why we get along with Valhalla so much. There's
Yeah,
just
because it's
that
the same thing
connection
with
you already
them. Yeah.
have, you know?
hmm
Wolf Achilles wants to know: are you guys friends with Whirl, which is High Guild?
Yeah.
oh yeah, we're cool with him. With him, personally, I'm cool with Southern Cross and all those trader guilds because I do talk to a lot of them personally. So we are in good terms with all of them.
But NWO, you guys know them any, or have they been playing in Bhakti?
Every once in a while, we'll see some of them. We'll chat with them, but it hasn't ever been anything where it's like broad reaching or kind of continuous. It's whenever we see them, we'll just talk to them.
Are they in the Bhakti Council?
I hardly ever see
Oh,
anyone
which
on, to
guild
be
again?
fair. NWO.
Mm. Yeah, I
I,
think they
s-
are.
I think they are, but I've seen like one or two online. I haven't seen them much on lately.
No, I think you're thinking of TNO.
No, not the noble ones. I'm talking about New World Order. They used to live in Bhakti. They still own like Sunken Island MO1, I think. I don't know if they're still actively playing though.
Yeah, I think you're right. I've had people ask about going out there. It's like I'm not gonna lie, I've yet to go to the Sunken Isles.
Yurioko wants to know from Chelsea: has any knights fought for your hand yet?
Wait, repeat that one more time.
Have any knights fought for your hand?
Which one do they want? The left or the right? I got a nice axe.
Yeah, they can fight me. But no.
Why does no one want to fight for my hand? Wait a
You
minute.
know where it's been, dude. Come on.
I mean, why isn't everybody just after Princess Laurelin? Like, come on.
Right, Princess Laurelin.
Were you guys in a war deck with Levia?
No,
No.
they tried, but nah.
Okay. All right. All right. Well,
Since
we'll go ahead and wrap it up then, I guess, because you can like control questions out.
No, there's no way.
But yeah, I appreciate you guys coming on and allowing me to do your interview for you. I had fun. I learned some stuff for sure. Thank you
Cool,
guys.
yeah. Thanks for
Yeah,
No,
having
absolutely.
us.
Thanks for having us, dude.
thank you for having us, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna upload it to YouTube. Hopefully by tonight. Depending on how long it takes. But this is kind of shorter than my normal stream, so it should definitely be up by tonight. And I'll link it to you guys so you guys have it or whatever.
Perfect. Thanks, man.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you guys. I'm gonna
Did
head
you
out
end
and
up
end the
getting
stream.
your video, by the
Yeah.
way, yesterday?
Wait, say again?
Did you end up getting everything you needed for that video you were doing last
No,
night?
I'm still fucking working on it. Cause I'm tying it to a specific song. So you know, if you're making like a good video and you have like a specific song in mind, I have to the clips have to tailor to the song to make it good.
Mhm.
So I ended up
God.
needing more clips and I have to get them today, but yeah, I'm hopefully gonna finish it today. I'm really excited about it.
Well, if you need in a specific area, anyway, just get with me, and I could probably point you to it. I've
Okay.
been all over the map, so
Okay. Sounds good. All right, guys. Have a good one, okay?
you
Take
too,
care.
man. Take it
Yeah,
Yeah,
easy.
you
see you,
too.
bud.
All right, bye. Alrighty, guys. All right, well that was good. Let's go ahead and see if we can raid somebody. Oh, Bomex is live. Okay, we can raid Bomex. Bomex. All right, we're gonna go ahead and raid Bomex, guys. Thank you guys for watching. That was HoJ Guild Harbingers of Judgment. Really cool dudes. And yeah, we're gonna end the stream and raid Bomex. Okay, guys. But he's playing. Oh, that's an ad. I thought he was playing Apex or something. I was so confused. All right, I'm gonna raid Bomex, guys. I'll talk to you later. Have a good one, boys.